Welcome to the Ask a Medium radio show. I'm your host, Rivera, Rivera, Psychic Medium. We're coming to you from the Ivy League Psychic Academy. I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Theresa Matuszak. Tree,
Hi.
Are you with me?
I'm with you. We're doing
Okay. We got it. All right. So we're calling in some higher energies here because we're dealing with a difficult topic tonight. We felt that a lot of people who are coming here to the Ivy League Psychic Academy, as well as a lot of clients of mine this week, and some people, that Tree's been dealing with, a lot of people looking for healing in the area of either, paranormal, darker, lower energies, attachment issues coming into their lives, wreaking havoc on them. And so we decided to make the topic for tonight identification and awareness of dark or negative lower energies and how to protect yourself. And this is the first time in our Para-X history that we have found that we are absolutely having technical difficulties from every angle inexplicably. So we just feel like it's trying to prevent us from talking, which is pretty much the theme. Okay, so we're just going to really keep on going because this needs to be discussed, and we're not going to let it slow us down. So
little rascals that they are.
Well, yeah, that's basically how you need to look at it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So our tech guy Jay is saying that we're actually finally on. We're just going to keep pulling in those higher energies, those protectors. We're going to keep pulling in those angels, and we are going to move on to our topic. I know we have a lot of callers, who had sent in questions and are waiting for answers on their important questions. So we are going to get to that in a minute. If you guys want to text in your questions, feel free to do that at 716-602-1391. You can also, Kara, can you tell them how, my dear producer?
Yes, our listeners can also go to Ask a Medium on Facebook, Ask a Medium Live. There they can find the event Ask a Medium Para-X and go ahead and just type your questions into the comments section right above that first post there, and I will feed them on into our host and co-host here, and they will get you some answers.
Okay, so you could go to the event page on Facebook called Ask a Medium Para-X when you put it into the search bar. Okay, I'm listening now. It's fine. Hit refresh on your browser. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm just looking at the chat room, so whatever. Okay, which is probably why I'm not supposed to have another shiny distraction in the room. Okay, but anyways, I'm just going to ignore this, and we're going to move on to our topic here. So
we have that dog syndrome of, hey, squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah, we're going to have them all night long. So let's try to break this down again. Basically, this week, many people were having issues with protecting themselves. Mm-hmm. They were feeling that they are under attack by some negative and lower energies. And while a lot of people are very uncomfortable with this topic and would prefer to focus on, light and love and peace and harmony, which we certainly do, mm-hmm. Okay, we also feel that it's imperative that you acknowledge that there are negative and lower energies in the universe that, will try to affect things for you. Without that identification, without that awareness, without embracing that fact, you really run the risk of not being able to protect yourself when you need to. And one of the things that we were talking about was that, the average person who's in denial of any of this, they don't know when it's happening to them. They think that it's themselves.
Right. They kind of just think it's like, oh, I've just had a run of bad luck. Well, exactly at what point is it not bad luck anymore?
At what point is the technology difficulty not on Kara, the producer, and the tech guy? What point do we acknowledge that this is higher than us or lower than us?
Exactly.
Right. So what are the most common ways that you've seen people be affected by negative and lower energies and they don't identify that it is actually coming from an outside source causing them problems? They start to blame themselves. What have you seen with that?
It could be anything. I mean, a lot of people like to eat something so simple as a bad stroke of luck at bingo. I've been going to bingo for 15 years and nothing's happened.
These doppers are
honey,
garbage.
That's not you.
Cut the troll's hair.
Yeah, exactly. Cut the troll's hair, rolling the dice, picking up a
Getting
new troll.
Bonies.
Getting a new troll. It could be anything, really. I mean, it could be little minor things, and then it could be larger things when it actually starts affecting your home life, your vehicle situation. You can't drive your car because one thing after another is happening. Plans are just keep getting interrupted. It really just is a wide range of anything, really. Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that when you do find yourself in a cycle like that where, for example, all your plans are being interrupted, conversations can't be had, radio shows are not running for some bizarre reason, I do absolutely believe that blessings still reside within that, and that angels and higher energies are working. So if your car is not running, I know you had a situation like that not too long ago, and we believe that was for your own protection.
I believe so, yeah. We had made this big old plan to come on out to the White Inn to see you and your show, and spend a whole weekend there. Had a beautiful room waiting for us to stay in, and our brake line went, and muffler, exhaust area went, and just cost too much money, so we got a new car after a long time of saving, got a new car, but when you have it, the brake line needed to be fixed, or the brakes, need to be fixed, the bearings need to be fixed, we got a crack in the windshield.
The crack in the windshield was the weirdest one.
That was the last
so random.
one to do it. That was the last one. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I love you,
we're not going.
We're not coming, because I'm not going to drive an hour,
And it was a show. We had a paranormal investigation going on there. I had some, live, my gallery shows were going on there. And it was in Fredonia, New York at the White Inn, and it was an hour away from Buffalo, and many people had the same story that you did.
Yeah.
That they were being prevented from getting there for some reason. I do believe that sometimes, though, when it would appear that we're under some kind of attack or we're being prevented from doing something, it's also really to protect us.
Correct.
That's a long drive. There was a lot of bad rain. There was a lot going on that weekend. So we have to stay open to everything. And I believe even in negative situations, whether you believe in God or angels or higher powers, more positive energies, they will swoop in and they will make it a better situation. It will become a blessing in disguise. But along the way, we have, other things that happen to us that aren't as easily identifiable. Like, I'm just getting punched in the face with bad luck. How about thoughts? How about just negative, depressing, repetitive, heavy, patterns of thinking?
Yes.
More of a drive toward bad habits or addictive tendencies than you had before. A feeling of almost like sadness or exhaustion, like you just really cannot get up, like you can't go any further. Loss, all the things that we would really define in typical, medical science as depression.
Yeah, dread and regret and just all these negative, because dare I say, negative attracts a negative, positive attracts positive.
Right.
So if you're normally an upbeat person and the negative's starting to kind of flow in, I really think it's something affecting you, not you becoming negative at that point. You could have even went to a party and had a great time and something came home with you. It's very possible.
Absolutely. And we don't see it right away.
Right.
Negative lower energies aren't they're not stupid. I mean, they know exactly. You come in and you subtly start to steal and drain the energy out of that person. And it takes some time. Typically, what you're going to see if something like this is going on, there will be more depressive thoughts. There will be a sense of being defeated. We were talking a couple weeks ago about clairaudient ability. Clairaudient ability is being able to hear spirits in your head, believing that it's actually your own thoughts.
Yeah.
And so, you have to decipher the difference between your regular thought patterns and what might be coming in trying to influence you. So we have this stuff going on, and then before you know it, you're really just kind of down and out. I want to talk real quick about when this happens. The most typical times in life for negative energies to come in and try to get a foothold. The one that I'm big on is anytime you're ready for a promotion. It's you're going to move up a level and here comes a new devil.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, seriously, advancements, any kind of change, but a big change, and it can be a positive one too, and it's just all of a sudden something's going to try to throw a curveball at you or sidestep you and just make you feel like you don't deserve that or something. You know what I mean? It just kind of steps in there. But yeah, and usually for me, it's anytime there's, especially with mediumship, with my development and everything going on, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I get these weird thoughts of, can I do that? I start to doubt myself, and then it's like, no, get out of there. Yes, I can.
Yeah, was that?
Yes, I can.
Absolutely. And, we saw a situation with a student of mine just the other day. He's He's talking about making the decision to come in here for private lessons in addition to what he's taking in psychic mediumship development. And right away, a neighbor of his shows up saying that he's possessed and had attempted murder on the neighbor. And all the neighbors left in the last week. And he's threatening Dan. I mean, it's absolutely crazy the things that happen. But the thing is, with this student, I have said repeatedly, I've known him now a couple years, I've said there's something very special that you have to do. Mm-hmm. And I've watched him maybe put a little foot in the water and he kind of takes it back out. He's like testing it out. He's testing. But when he made that phone call to me and said, I am full on ready to do this. And his words were, I want to be the best that I can be at doing this. His life is being threatened, and it's very, very real. I mean, the guy was in jail, but he's got a date planned out on his head. He told him at this date, I'm coming after you. These are the kinds of things that you need to not run from. Right. You can't, and I mean, it really doesn't get worse than that, does it? I mean, seriously, this is our example for the week. I mean,
my heart goes out to him.
Yeah, really. Well, my grandfather always said you sleep with a machete under your pillow at all times. We're from Puerto Rico. That's how you do it. The one time my grandfather did not have a machete under his pillow, he went to go take a nap on a beautiful summer day on the couch. Someone broke in through the window and stole his TV. So you always have to have some means of protecting yourself. You can't be letting yourself. So right now, my beautiful student is at Home Depot buying himself a machete and riding this thing out. And all the other neighbors moved. And you better believe that he contemplated not coming in for the private lessons. You better believe he's debating on whether or not he should back out. The same way we couldn't get the show to run. We're not going to run from these topics. Right. You have to put your foot down. You have to be strong. You have to know your power. And also, who's there for you on the other side? So where have you seen positive, higher-up energies, come in and protect you? Have you had any really wild experiences where you felt like something just swooped in?
Not really wild. I don't think I can really compete there with the situation with Dan.
I have to. This
is crazy.
This right here. So, then I'll use this example.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. This is where I'm seeing positive, forcing the negative back out or overcoming it. And what happened was, I'm coming into the shop tonight to do the radio show, and I'm getting a message, from Dan, the student, saying, you better have my back. I hope you're right on what it is you're telling me to do. I hope I don't end up, in a terrible situation for them. I mean, this is no pressure. This is no pressure at all. This is fine. So he's messaging me this. I walk in, and in my mailbox is a letter from a man from 22 years ago, who I had been on a bus with, on a Greyhound bus from California to New York State. And I had believed for many, many years that this man protecting me as a teenager on this bus for all these days, that he was an angel. I didn't believe that he was even a real person. Mm-hmm. I have not heard from him. I lost touch so many years ago. I saw him wave goodbye to me when we were at the bus station and never heard from him again. And I thought, this was not a real person. This man put his coat over me. This man, bought me coffee and food. He made sure that nobody else bothered me. Days he did this. I get this letter waiting in the mailbox at the academy here tonight. And in this beautiful letter, he says, you may not remember me, but I sat next to you on a Greyhound bus from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Columbus, Ohio. You were headed to New York City. On the second page, and this is all I'm really going to read of it, he says on this second page, daily for a couple of years, I called out your name in prayer at my bedside. I prayed for many others, but I always closed with Ivy Rivera in New York City, Lord. Protect her and watch over her. This beautiful human being had been looking for my parents, had been reaching out to people all these years. He remembered me and found me. Now, this is a prime example of, the most negative situations and the most positive situations, and people being used
Yeah.
as well. Because now I see he is a human being, okay? He's not an angel. But was he being used, for...
To deliver a message.
Absolutely.
I'd call him an earth angel.
An earth angel?
Personally, that's what I would refer
and
to
who
as.
prays for somebody for 20 years? I mean, who does this?
It's a beautiful thing. Really.
This is an incredible thing. And what most people don't realize is that we as human beings are susceptible to being used by good and by evil. Mm-hmm. So with these abilities, such as clairaudience, okay, where we can hear them in our heads, we're almost like tools. We're wide open tools and vessels to be used. And if you've ever gone through a hard time in life and you feel like everyone who's supposed to be there for you kind of sells out on you.
Walks away,
Yeah, walks away, or they make it hard for you. They make it worse. They could very well be, being used and manipulated by negative and lower energies. Mm-hmm. So we have to remember that, we've got to identify that these things do exist and know that the people around you, as much as you may love them, if they're not aware of it, if they aren't maintaining it, they could just as well be susceptible. And we all are at different times. None of us are perfect. Okay.
Oh, yeah, and it's hard too because either you know or you don't know. And then it's like in situations like for myself, I can end up seeing it for somebody else. And then it's like, how do you explain this? How do you tell a person, hey, yeah, something's following you? Because it's not perceived well, you know what I mean? So
yeah, people don't appreciate hearing that they have an
really
attachment or a dark mass.
That's been more my experience because my husband and I, it was our first apartment, and this lady upstairs who was doing her thing up there, and all of a sudden it just felt like something walked in the door. It's like you felt it. And we were trying to ignore it the best we could, and as the weeks went by, you could literally feel the energy shifting, going from the basement into the hall, up to her door, and it could not get past her door because she had one powerful thing, which was salt, which we'll get into, at her door, and it could not get past the door, so it would pace the hall to the basement upstairs, and it would feed off of aggression, it would feed off of anger, and because we never fight,
right?
And anytime we fought, we're like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. And you could literally feel this thing almost like it was getting happy, like it was rubbing his little hands together, like, mwahaha.
Exactly, right. I think of like a cat purring, like when it finally gets that mouse.
That happiness, right. Yeah. So finally, we got rid of it. But that experience for me has helped me recognize for other people. And then you got to watch out for smells, because that's another thing. If you start to smell things that smell really really nasty, like rotten. I'm talking rotten, something, rancid milk and onions and skunk and burnt rubber, and it's just disgusting. It's getting bigger. And
there are people who it's not them physically.
No.
The smell isn't coming from them.
No.
You're like, you are rancid. It's around them.
Yes.
And it lingers. And if you were to like go in their bedroom, it would be like in their, in their room, in their dwelling, in the place where they're most susceptible, like at night or when they're sleeping. Yeah. So you hit these pockets. I know we do want to get on to some questions, and then when we come back, we're going to start talking about solutions that you have. Now that we've discussed awareness, okay, awareness is the best solution, or it's the first solution, it's the key. But then what can you do to protect yourself? And we're going to do a rundown on that, but we are going to move over here to some questions. And I just want to say real quick that, the most susceptible time is going to be, especially for us light workers, is when we really decide to develop our abilities. Right. There is nothing more threatening to, a negative energy in the world, the balance of things, than us coming out as light workers and fighting with the light. Yeah. So be aware. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, we want to start moving on to some questions. So we have here from looks like a 395 number. Hold on one second. I lost this one. Okay. She says, my question tonight is, should I change job location or should I stay where I am? From a 395 number. Let's see what we're getting with that. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit like it's really up in your free will right now. I don't feel like there's a definitive right or wrong. I'm getting an impression of you need to stay for a little while longer, and then you're really free to go. So I guess if we're going to get right down to a science, or you like cracking up, we're just sharing a brain again.
Yes.
You just finish my sentences at any time. I'll take it. It just basically is, it's almost like right here. Yeah. You know, it's here now. You could go, but you'd be going a little bit prematurely.
Correct.
But certainly within the next few months. If you want to talk perfect timing, I'd ride it out about another 2.5 months. And then go for it. It just feels like more doors are opening. What are you getting with that?
Yeah, no, exact same thing. My very first thought was stay where you are for right now. And then it feels like there's a bigger opportunity, not huge opportunity, but there's much more of an opportunity down a couple months, 2-3 months down the road. So yeah, we're like right at the same level.
Yeah, and it feels very much like it's what you were doing. Not the same company, but you're definitely familiar. Mm-hmm. And I'm feeling a male sort of at the head of things over there who appreciates your work ethic and you being there. And so it looks like there'll be a lot of opportunity for growth.
It feels like a calm, relaxed movement, too. Like there's not a whole lot of
chaos.
Movement or chaos or pressure on it. You know, it's just real smooth.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, the time is right. Boom, it's going to happen, and you're good.
Well, good for you. Good for you. I just want to say, caller, for being on it and paying attention, because you know that it's time, and this one's really just about getting it down to a science of perfection. But any time around now, things will be just fine. All right, thank you for that. We have another one coming in here. She wants to know from a 444 number, what will happen with my daughter? That's very vague, but let's just see what we're getting. Okay. What I'm feeling basically when I'm jumping over here with your daughter, because this is a very non-specific question, so I'm just going to take that angle and treat you do whatever you're going to do. But when I jump into the daughter's energy, I'm just trying to ride it out a little while, spending some time with her to see where she's headed and what's going on. What I feel is a heaviness in the heart. I feel as though there's some kind of heartbreak or some kind of a depression, or not so much anxiety as just heaviness. I feel sad. And I feel like I'm trying to juggle or manipulate things, and I'm feeling quite incapable. But the sun keeps shining on my face, and I keep feeling almost like I'm getting up off the ground, and the sun is shining on my face, and I'm feeling like there's something positive watching over me. There's something encouraging me to go further. And I'm gathering up the will to keep open to whatever suggestions are coming from the universe, telling me what direction to go in and how exactly I'm going to handle all of this. And it gets me through another day, until it's getting me through weeks at a time. So I feel her getting stronger. What are you getting with this?
I immediately, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I immediately started seeing a light-haired girl, kind of like blonde to dirty blonde. In color, could be like a light brownish, somewhere in that kind of tone. But I was getting what you were getting, very low, kind of like a low energy feel, almost like a depressive state. I'm getting very dark clouds, seeing very dark clouds. But even in the darkest cloud, there's a little hole with light, like the sunlight, just kind of beaming through. Just hold hope. I'm getting hold on to hope, and there's still the light at the end of the tunnel. Like she's gonna come through whatever is really that she's dealing with at the moment.
Absolutely. And I'm getting a little bit of a sense of almost like I'm alone.
Yeah.
I get a sense of independence and I'm alone, but when others would come around, I feel like they're not super positive for her. So it feels like she needs to be alone for a while. Keep influences, away.
There's not a lot of get up and go. It's really just there. She's
just sort of surviving it. At this time. But it does get better. So she'll be doing that with a lot of help. And basically, when you're seeing the light shine on someone's face like that, I mean, that means that they are being watched over and, higher energies moving her forward. We have another one here from a Linda. She says, "Hi, Ivy dear." Hello, Linda. I have a question for you. I Googled it, but the responses were somewhat negative and biased. So, my question is, what does it mean to have an enlightened third eye? Okay, let me see what I'm getting with this. What's your first impression on this? I feel like you were about to spit
itching.
something out.
No,
okay, I saw that.
Started itching.
Like you have a red spot on your forehead.
That's my mother calls it my St. Jude mark because I was born with it, and it will start itching, and that's my
your third eye is.
Do
you see this? I mean, if we had a camera in here, and it's like in the shape of like a
it's like a flame kind of.
She just barely even touched herself.
No,
it's getting more and more red.
It's my third
if that turns
eye.
into a cross. We're going to the church.
No, I was born with it. It's
unbelievable.
It's basically what I have been told is a mark of a gifted one too. Is what I've always been told.
Right.
It's the third. What I'm getting for her because mine's popping out.
Yeah,
now,
go.
it's like,
please.
Ta-da!
I can't compete with it.
No, what it is basically it's time. It's time to move forward. There's a transition coming in. It feels like there's pressure. Kind of like pressure behind hers. Like there's something wanting to come forward, and it's that fear. Like we talk about the fear. It feels like there's fear behind it. Like you really want to do it, but you're afraid of, oh God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen with family? What are they going to say? And it's your life, and if you're meant to do it, do it. Just go. I can't encourage it anymore. Like I feel like my guides are just like, oh dear God, just go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is a no-brainer.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think for everybody it really is. Well, don't touch it. Don't make it worse. It's like this is blowing my mind right now.
Poke it out.
So we'll have to post pictures of Tree's third eye forehead surfacing on the third eye question. It's amazing. This is absolutely amazing. So what I'm really getting with this is that you're how do I want to say? You're almost coming at it from a perspective or what you're being shown, the things that you're bumping into, whether you Googled it or other people are giving their opinions or you're on group pages or whatever, is almost the heaviness of it because we can't deny that there's a lot of dark or change that can come along with it. And I don't want you to look at it from a perspective of, your old life is going to fade away and everything's going to be uncomfortable or different or isolating. You're going to feel alienated from, the average human being. You probably already do. I mean, light workers, and moving into enlightenment, there's a tricky transformation where you're going to feel more and more isolated from the way that most people are living and more pulled into the light to do this kind of work. Yeah.
Can I say also that I did go through, and maybe that's why mine's popping out because it's a memory too, but I went through this too. There's a lot of coping. When it comes in it kind of feels like it hits you at once or it comes on really strong. There's like a depressive state. Oh my God, I can't talk now. Depression with it. There's like a sense of loneliness. Like you want to be with family, but then you want to just be on your own. It's part of for me, it was part of the empath part too, but there's a lot. It's a big transition. And
again, we're always talking about empathic ability. This ability on levels 3 and 4, and sometimes even on, the levels 1 and 2 on a more mild, setting. But it's depression, it's OCD, it's anxiety disorders, it's all of this. And so, you're taking that on, and then you're isolating yourself because people don't understand the enlightenment, the same way. But either way, go forward. Is it negative? No, I don't look at it as negative. It will lead you into more positive. And so that's where you need to be headed. And I feel really, really great things for you, including a lot of heat. I'm like sweating profusely over here. It's very charming.
Warm.
I am just heating up, which is a sign that you're just a tremendous healer and you've got to let that energy out. So I would just focus on that and get through your transitions. Let me see here. Okay, we have here from a Peter on Facebook. He says, are there any vibes that you can feel about me? Sometimes I feel the things that people are going to say, and I actually say it before they say it. Okay, so he wants to know if we're getting anything off of him. Okay. I just feel like you're pretty quick, Peter. I just feel like you're really kind of on your toes. I explain it to my students this way. when you start to have dreams on a regular basis that are premonition dreams, you've really reached the last stage before you are on full time. It's no longer at night. It's no longer sporadic. It is just all the time, and you're always a step ahead. So you know what people are thinking. You know what people are feeling. You know what they're going to say. You know what events are going to come up. And it's just like you're kind of almost watching like the real world is on rewind. Like it's catching up with your head. You have anything for him?
Yeah, it almost feels like almost like a claircognizance thing, really. Yeah. Like it's just knowing. You know, it's just like that ability to just know whether you're, I don't want to say reading minds, but you're on that wavelength with people where it's just kind of like you're even, so you can finish a sentence. Like you and I bounce off each other, but you know, and just say whatever the other one's going to say, and then boom, there it is. You know, so it definitely feels like something along those lines as well.
Sure. Yeah. So I know we have about 17 minutes left. I know that we want to start talking a little bit about, different ways that you can protect yourself. This was a difficult topic tonight. I'm just happy the show just keeps on running. We're just going to keep rolling with it. But I do want to take another question here. This is sort of a serious situation here. We have from a Bob. He says, I keep having what they call mini strokes, and it seems that every time I have one, somebody that I know dies. So another charming side effect of intuition and or what we would call physical impressions. Also messengers of death, for lack of a better, I don't make the rules. For lack of a better title, we've got to come up with something better than this. But there is a smaller percentage of psychics that are considered messengers of death. When you have the ability, you will see people die or get the physical impressions before it happens, as well as see a lot of other negative things that might be coming up. It is a curse and a blessing all in one. This means that you're the one who gets to maybe say goodbye or prepare the family. And find, cautiously, of course, but find a way to let people know, this person won't be around for much longer, or you may be able to prevent a lot of things from happening. When you're getting it in the form of such an intense physical impression that, you think it's actually causing this, I just want to say that I don't know that that's the full story on that. Mm-hmm. Because we get some very, very intense physical impressions. We see students all the time go into the hospital believing they're having
problems,
a heart attack or liver failure, or they think they had some, and there's nothing there. So it seems to me that while you're in sync, I wouldn't blame this entire thing on empathic ability or physical impressions. What are you getting with us?
I was getting some pressure at the heart, though. So we can't prescribe or diagnose here, but I would honestly, I'm going to assume you have gone to a physician, but I almost want to encourage you to go see somebody and be checked further as well. And
I feel like, again, we can't prescribe or diagnose, but I do feel like you're going to have some improvements made to the heart that are really almost feels like, a machine or some kind of a
stint or something.
Yeah, it's going to get you up and running, but it really feels like it was sort of years of buildup. And so what this is all about right now is this is a wake-up call for you. And yes, you are very sensitive. Yeah, there are things that will trigger it, but ultimately it was already there. And this is a time, opportunity for you to turn your life around, and your abilities are absolutely going to increase during that time. Thank you so much for that question. Yes.
Ivy, actually, I just want to read this out to you. I was looking around here on the Facebook event page and some of the posts, and this just came in from Melissa Smith. And it was very, very nice of her. I would just like to say, if you're reading this post and curious, I have asked a couple of questions of Ivy Rivera and received extremely accurate readings. The shows are full of educational and enlightening facts as well. Give it a shot, it's free. Perhaps we can all embrace a higher vibration and let our spirituality shine its light.
Oh my God, what a sweetheart. Nice. Thank you, Melissa. Awesome.
That was great.
I love that. Thank you. So we're going to, on that note, kind of start wrapping up the show. We're going to talk about ways that you can protect yourself, okay? Now, a lot of these things that we're going to sort of run off are things you've heard of or you've seen in a movie, and you're probably like, what? Where am I going to get that, okay? Red brick dust. Southern. All right, you lay it down. You lay down a line. Nobody can cross into your space that means you any harm. Salt, you want to take salt?
A layer of salt, kind of the same thing. You can lay it across your door, windows, anything that would be used as basically like an in and out vehicle of sorts, and just basically say that, nothing's going to harm. Nothing's going to harm me. Nothing's going to pass this door. So be it. If you believe, in God, whatever your religious believes in, throw that in there too. Sign of the cross. You're good.
That's right. Also, sand. You put sand in your window. The belief system is, and this I don't use, okay, but just throwing it out there because different things are going to work for different people, that a spirit will get distracted having to count every grain, okay, of sand. Sage. Super common. You want to take sage?
That's a big one. Sage can be used in so many ways. There's sage smudges, which you can use with a feather or even just your hand to get the smoke going and throw it out towards your walls. Get every corner, every crease, every under the bed, every cabinet, everywhere. And basically just sage your house. They don't like the smell. It repels them. It cleanses everything. You can also do it in the form if you can get sage essential oil incense. Incense works as well, and that's a daily thing. It doesn't create as much smoke as sage does, but
yeah. And the white sage will choke you out far less.
Yeah.
The traditional sage it's really kind of harsh.
Yeah.
And the smell is not so pleasant. And then, with the white sage, your neighbors are going to think you're smoking something goofy. So they're either going to like you more or they're going to give you a crooked eye. But hey, you're going to be happier because your house is clean. So whatever. But it's an old Native American tradition, and the way that you use sage is, you go from the bottom of your house all the way to the top of your house, counterclockwise in every room, and try not to get too stuck on how exactly you're doing these things, because ultimately it's going to be about intention, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Gridding. Another great way. Now, you're all about the crystals and the stones. Do you grid?
No, actually, I've been interested in possibly looking into gridding. I've seen a lot of people grid, but I can rattle off a couple stones and crystals for you, but as far as gridding, I'm kind of a novice with that. But
that's funny that who works with crystals wouldn't use gridding. I don't really use it either a ton. Kara, you do?
I have a question. I was raising my hand for those of you who can't see me. I was raising my hand because I didn't want to interrupt. What does gridding mean?
Gridding is the placement of crystals and objects to keep negative or lower energies out of your space. So the first psychic fair I ever worked in Pittsburgh, this wonderful lady had said to me, gave me an anxiety attack. I called her and I was like, could you tell me what to do before my psychic fair? And she said, I started to prepare 2 weeks ago. And I had 4 hours. And I said, well, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I got there and they wouldn't let me burn sage, and I couldn't be spraying my things, and everybody was so picky at the other tables. I couldn't burn my sandalwood to get the energy up lifted. I wasn't allowed to do anything. She is a gridder. And what she did, she said that she would place her crystals on the corners of, around her table and around her area, and it holds steady. So the 3 days, that's all she had to do.
Like a barrier.
Yeah, and there are a million different,
And people do them they have these pyramids for
the
gridding.
pyramid holds
like a quartz or something.
Yes.
Pyramids can hold it. You can grid for so much for love and for health and all that. It's kind of crazy. I would Google it. I would look it up, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Ultimately, it's always going to be about intention.
Yeah.
If you had nothing, if you didn't have a feather, a stick of sage, you didn't have a crystal, a stone, and nothing, right? If you only had your intention to put your foot down, to say negative and lower energies must leave this space now, can do me no harm, in Jesus' name, or you call in St. Michael, you call in your guardian angel, your protector, and you say, nothing can cross me. And I'm calling in higher positive energies to raise and elevate the energy level in this space. That is enough. And if you have to repeat yourself, you repeat yourself. And did you say that we have another one, or do we need to move on?
We actually have one question coming in from Para X here.
Okay.
And this is from Nookum Dip, which I like the name. It's kind of cute.
Nookum Dip is here, Tree.
Yay!
Yay! The question is, having problems with my neighbor, feel he has evil in him, need to know how to block or protect myself.
Okay. Let's see what we're getting with this. I feel like, first of all, don't make eye contact. And I'm hearing a lot of yelling. I'm watching him come around. It's sort of like he's screaming at you. He reminds me of this crackhead, from the East Side who just keeps coming up to the window and he's like, give me a cigarette. And I'm like, you just can't look. You just can't, just not acknowledging that this is even happening. Just don't give it any attention. Do not feed it. I feel very much like you need to have a little bit of a plan for this where I'm seeing almost like furniture up against the doors, but that doesn't make any logical sense. And what I feel like I'm talking about really and what they're showing me is you blockading. Okay, so know that I have your protector guide in here. Just talking about blockading, I know I saw it. There's something crawling through there. And so you're blockading the doors, so to speak. And you're doing this to your life as well as your home, as well as your car. It's almost like you're putting images in your head of the kind of block that you're manifesting. So picture it almost like a large desk, okay? And you're putting it up where there would be an entranceway. And when you're doing that, you're saying, you're calling in your protector guide, your guardian angel, Saint Michael, Jesus, in Jesus' name. I am saying, this person can do me no harm. This negative energy, okay, that's living within this person can do no harm to me or cross me in any way or harm any of my possessions. And while you're doing that, I'm almost feeling like the trouble is going to continue, but what you should do is repeatedly, and I feel like a resistance to calling the police or calling for help. I don't care what your normal routine is. You're going to have to give it up. I feel like repeatedly, call, turn it in. And what it feels to me like is eventually this person is going to be taken away. And that's it. I really don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm
Is that good? Since we've some crawling under the table here, I think. All right, Tree's done talking.
Yeah, ditto, like you're good.
Yeah. Okay, all right. It's been a weird night on the radio. We have all kinds of things going on. Okay, I know we have another question coming in. I'm just supposed to say this to you, though, real quick, Nookum Dip, that, in the yard, I feel a slight potential for some trouble down low, almost like I'm coming up onto your porch and I'm either trying to slide something under your door, I'm trying to get in through like a basement window or something like that. And so I think that when there is a time where you feel like you're at high risk, you need to have a game plan about how you're going to handle it. Almost like if I had an escape route or like, you would tell your kids if there were ever a fire, these are the steps that you take. And I do feel like it would be wise for you to get out but not go far. Until he is removed. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I was kind of getting the sense of like how we usually put up wind chimes to help bring in like the healing energy and stuff like that.
How about that? Yeah.
I would maybe pop up a wind chime, and anytime you come in and out of that room or whatever, just go ahead and lightly chime it. I'm also kind of getting if you can get holy water, for some reason I'm being shown holy water. You can get some from a church. It's free. Bring some, bring a little bottle with you, and I would just kind of dip your thumb into it and do a sign of the cross on the back of your doors. Right. Each door, every door, whichever any in or outlet for people to come in and out. For some reason I'm seeing that too, but.
And I think that what a lot of people don't understand about clearing is that you have to clear based on whatever the negative or lower energy is connected to. So it's called chaos magic. You wouldn't be, clearing with a Native American type of a method or, you would use whatever it is. And with this particular person, I do feel like it's Christian-based, Jesus-based. Yeah. So get your crosses out. Yeah. You have to fight, it's almost like you're fighting fire with fire. And that would be the accurate way to treat this. We have one more question before we wrap it up. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So I know that we do have some things coming up at the Academy. I just want to say this. For those of you, when we don't get to your questions, I will be answering them on Sunday night's live show. So I do another show called Ask a Medium, where I take questions and callers, and we do speak on some educational things. So you can find that on Ustream.com, where you can log in with your questions, or again, you can always text them to me at 716-602-1391. If you're looking to book a reading with me, I still have a little bit of a holiday special running. if you book it within the next couple days, it's going to run out on New Year's. 30% off for a reading or 50% off for a double read. And you can find more on that at ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com. If you're looking to take classes, we do have Meet Your Guides coming up, where you'll individually meet every one of your guides, including your Akashic Record guide, who holds your past life information. And that's a 2-hour class. I believe that's coming up next week. So look up more classes at Ivy League Psychic Academy. And Tree, where can they reach you?
They can reach me on Facebook, Theresa Matuszak, Matuszak. And if they are interested in my jewelry, they can find it here at the Academy, 4511 Main Street in Amherst, and out in Depew, New York at Red House Tattoo, 4820 Broadway.
Okay, awesome. Also, guys, find me on Facebook at Ivy Rivera. And we'll be seeing you next week. Thank you so much for your patience. And we hope that this brought you guys a lot of healing today and made you feel empowered. We'll talk to you next week on Ask a Medium. Take care.
Bye-bye.